Well, many ask the question, why are human beings the way they are? Why do we behave like this? And why does it seem as if we cannot connect with God? We have lost connection with God. We can't sense His presence, and He seems to be so distant from us. The Apostle Paul tells us that the wrath of God, God is upset, God is angry. It is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of man, who by their unrighteousness suppress the truth. Man has suppressed the truth. And it goes on, what can be known about God is plain to them. What can be known about God is plain to every one of us living in this world, because God has shown it to us. And he continues, he says, his invisible attributes, even the things that we cannot really physically see with the naked eye, his invisible attributes, that is his eternal power, his divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world, from ages ago, in the things that have been made. When we look at the world around us, we can see evidence of the existence of God. So he says that, man, we are without excuse when we think that there is no God. It says, although people knew God, they did not honor him as God. We didn't put him where he belongs. We didn't honor him. We didn't give thanks to him. And so we became futile in our thinking, and our foolish hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, thinking we are smart, God says in his word, we have become fools. And we exchange the glory of the immortal God for images representing, resembling mortal man and birds and animals and so on. And so the Bible says in verse 24 of Romans 1, God gave them up in the lusts of their hearts. God gave them up in the lusts of their hearts. And we're going to read this phrase, God gave them up, several times. Paul uses this phrase in these verses in Romans 1. God gave them up in the lusts of their own hearts to impurity, to the dishonoring of their bodies among themselves. God gave them up so that because of our lustful, sinful desires, the Bible says, God gave them up so we can continue to satisfy our lusts. He gave them up to impurity, dishonoring their bodies as a result of sin and not worshiping and honoring God. God gave mankind up. Then man began destroying his body, whether it be by drugs, by alcohol, and so many different things. We begin to destroy our bodies. We were made in the likeness and image of God, but then we began this path to destruction because the Bible says God gave them up. We will go into the next verse tomorrow.